You're listening to Recap with the Mayor with City of Wayzata Mayor Ken Willcox and Dan Gustafson of Wayzata.com. Brought to you by J&K Creative. For the best in corporate, wedding, event, or senior portrait services, call John Wright at 952-473-0201. And by Crow's Nest Marine. Customer Appreciation Days are Friday and Saturday from 9 to 5. Call Jack Dukes at 763-479-3145 for more information. And by John Roti at M&I Mortgage. Call John at 952-697-4516 for all your residential lending needs.
Ken Willcox speaking.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, this is Dan Gustafson calling.
How are you, Dan?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good.
Glad to hear it. I'm wondering if you have a couple of minutes to talk with me.
Okay.
What happened at the city council meeting last night?
Well, the most time, which was quite a lot of time actually, a couple hours, was spent on trying to figure out how to handle the cut-through traffic affecting the eastern neighborhood.
Sure.
Too many cars and too fast cars, and we've tried to approach this, or try to tackle this for years. I mean, a long time, as you well know.
With full disclosure, I do live on that block.
Right. Okay, so you know what I'm talking about, and we've tried everything from speed humps to stop signs to partial turns to police patrols, and not very much has worked consistently, and so we were debating that last night and basically concluded that we ought to start trying to cut off some of the access points in and out of that neighborhood. And so we will start to do that. We're putting the plan together to do it first, but we will sequentially start closing off some of the streets, starting with the Lake Street, Circle E, Lake Street extension area first, and then we will measure the results of that, follow that with the Bushaway LaSalle intersection as well, and measure that. The concern, of course, of the engineering folk is that anytime you plug something, you may have an effect, an unanticipated effect somewhere else, and so they need to measure that, find out what's the downside of cutting off some of these areas. There's public safety issues. There's ease of access. What's going to happen to traffic? Can buses get in and out? Can cars with trailers negotiate it? All of those kinds of things. Anyway, that's what we hope to learn.
Yeah, but there were some concerns about the stoplight at Central and Wayzata Boulevard, and that is something that had not occurred to me.
Also true.
As we discussed it last night, and then as someone made that comment, it did open I believe, the eyes of everyone in the room that might be a hot spot in terms of having some trouble.
That intersection might be inadequate to handle all of the new traffic that gets funneled in there. Exactly right. The advantage of a public hearing is that you do surface a lot of things that you probably hadn't thought about. You put that many brains together, and you can really pretty well wrestle an issue to ground. When there was another one that came up, just the aesthetics of speed humps, that you put it in signs. You have a sign that says there's one coming. There's a sign where the hump is, and all of that is a bit of a blight in the neighborhood. So.
Absolutely.
Anyway, I think we're headed down the right path there. There will be a lot of study. There will be a lot of neighborhood involvement. We'll ultimately want to survey the neighbors to see what they liked or didn't like, or whether it's working or not working, and hopefully we'll get some resolution and cut down those cars. The other thing, all those intersections around the area that are going to be redone in conjunction with the Bay Center are allegedly going to improve those routes, make them more attractive, and that theoretically over time would help as well, but we're not waiting for that. So
sure. And these are temporary in nature at this time.
The ones we're putting up now will be temporary. That's exactly right. Yeah. Barricades of some sort with signage and easily removable by the city, but we'll get a pretty good idea of how traffic flows change when we put those in.
What else happened last night?
Well, we approved some bonding for the the water treatment facility, reconstruction, bonds for the roads, and tax increment refinancing. Apparently the bonding markets are working again to some degree, but we're not committed. If that market gets shaky again on us, we can pull those back. But on the tax increment refunding bonds. Anyway, that was a fairly straightforward discussion. I also pointed out that with the economic slowdown, we just aren't seeing the activity level in town that was the case prior to this. And so
we're accustomed to it.
That we're accustomed to, the developments, all that kind of thing. So the agendas for the council meetings have been pretty light since the beginning of the year. And really until the economy picks up, we're probably going to see fairly light schedules. That does not mean that we are not pursuing a number of things, and I tried to point that out at the meeting as well. There were three items that are coming down the pike at us that we highlighted. One was the Burnett subdivision that we'll be seeing in the weeks ahead, and
there's some contention about that development from what I saw.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot, and so we'll see what happens there. There was another variance for a garage, Youngstead's, that was looking at the Shell station as a potential new site with having to vacate because the Bay Center development has been able to rethink that. With the Bay Center delay, they are going to remain where they are and have abandoned the Shell station as a new potential home for them. So that issue has gone away for the moment. I also pointed out that we are in negotiations with the DNR to acquire some land that they own, that DNR owns, that would be right over the area that we hope to redirect Superior Avenue.
Okay.
And, as we straighten that road and make it a T section with Lake Street, the DNR owns the land that used to be part of the ditch there. So anyway, we are in negotiations with them, and our State Senator Jen Olson and Representative Connie Depke have both introduced legislation to direct the DNR to transfer ownership to us.
Oh, great.
Well, it's not a done deal yet, but
it's going to take some time.
It's in process.
Sure.
It's in process. We talked about communications. We're trying to save some money there. The Bay Center, or the Bay Window publication that we put out will be reduced from 8 pages to 4, but we're going to try to direct people to the website.
Here's your chance to plug your website. What is it?
It's Wayzata.org, O-R-G. So over time we will have the full articles there and just have a smaller version of it that actually comes out in the mail. We're also continuing to pursue all of the various locations, the locations for the Muni. There were, as you know, issues associated
with
each of them.
Developments with regards to the Muni?
No new developments. It's just that each of the sites has problems associated with it, and either zoning issues or whatever. And we're addressing each of those sort of as we can.
Is it nice to get a year respite?
Well, it'll allow us to do it with a little less frenzy, but there's still a lot to be done, and we just want to make sure that all the sites that we're looking at are clean by the time we have to make a decision, and then we'll just make it on the merits. Let's see, I talked about budget issues, the fact that this lack of development activity is going to affect the city budgets, and we're going to have to decide what we need to cut back on and how much. And let's see, we had also given guidance to expand the cemetery, the city cemetery. And we talked about that a little bit. I think those are the highlights for the most part.
Well, great. Ken, I appreciate your time very much. We've taken enough, and we'll talk with you later.
Very good.
Okay.
Thanks very much.
Thanks.
Bye.